Hello and welcome back to the AAT'S podcast. We are now finally on episode 20. And this is with myself, Adi of Adibiotics.
And me, Aidan Riley.
Good afternoon, Aidan.
Good afternoon, Adi. How are you?
I'm fine, brother. Yourself?
I am well.
You look well.
Thank you. I try my best.
It was raining previously, but you weren't singing Purple Rain, was you? If you know.
Sorry, I did.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so as you can... So it's raining. That's why it's raining. I'm not actually a good singer like Prince, even though that is one of my nicknames, which I don't mind. But please don't ask me to sing, because you can't expect me to be anything like it.
At least he's honest. So today we're continuing on with the trilogy of Beverly Hills Cop. We're continuing with Beverly Hills Cop 2. I really liked the sequel myself, and because the thing I liked about it, it had a bit more serious tone to it compared to the first one.
Yeah, it did. But you know my thoughts on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still good. Don't get me wrong. You think it was better?
I did a bit, yeah.
But for me, I just think that the ideas they wasn't as fresh as the first one, and
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I loved Tony Scott's work, and sadly, I don't know if you knew this, but he had passed away back in 2012. He unfortunately committed suicide. For those who do not know who Tony Scott was, he directed the great movies such as not just Beverly Hills Cop 2. He directed Top Gun. He directed Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. He also directed The Last Boy Scout, I believe, with Bruce Willis. Collaborated a lot with Denzel Washington on movies such as Man on Fire, Unstoppable. He was actually the brother of Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, and
I didn't know that.
Unfortunately, he had sadly passed away.
What happened?
I hate to say it, but he actually threw himself off a bridge. May you rest in peace, Tony Scott. It was actually back in, I'll just check, when did it happen? It was in, I believe, it was 2012 when it happened. And, it's been 10 years now. So you know what? When the anniversary...
mental health needs to be taken seriously.
It does. And hopefully soon on our regular show on Insta, we're going to be doing we're going to be talking a lot about this as well. So it's like I say, it does need to happen. With all jokes aside, it really does. Yeah. So unfortunately, Tony Scott unfortunately passed away like that.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a great director, and obviously
this is why mental health should be taken seriously.
Of course, definitely, I agree with you. But yeah, may he rest in peace, and he left a great legacy behind as well.
When did he pass away?
2000 and I think mid-2000 and something. I'll just check for you.
Yeah,
I'll just check.
Just have a look.
Yeah, I mean, because like I say, because he was an absolutely brilliant director. He made a lot of actors got on with him very well.
Yeah, well, that's what makes a brilliant director, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like
there's no ego involved.
It's like the coach of a sports team.
Yeah.
If you don't get along with your team,
yeah,
like a director has his he has his writers.
Yeah.
He has his producers. He has the actors and everyone.
Yeah. 2012.
Wow, 10 years ago.
Yeah. I can't believe. Oh yeah, it's 2000. Oh my God. Can you believe we've only got 6 months left of this year? Depending on when you watch this, please, everybody. There's only 6 months left.
6 months.
6 months. We're in June now, aren't we? Can't believe how quick it's gone. How many episodes we've come through as well.
Life just goes straight by, doesn't
definitely.
it?
And how many episodes we've been through as well.
Kids, time goes by. Enjoy yourselves.
Definitely. So the plot of Beverly Hills Cop 2, it's kind of similar to Beverly Hills Cop 1, but again, it's more action-packed and everything like that. So Beverly Hills Cop 2, again, you find Axel Foley, again, repeatedly played by Eddie Murphy, reprising his role as Axel Foley, who goes where he's not wanted.
Yeah, he always does that, doesn't he?
As he says in the movie, I'm going deep, 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 deep undercover. As he says that was a good line, and he could tell, again, improvisation was the key thing there. And what happens is in Beverly Hills, Taggart, Rosewood, and Bogomil are investigating something called alphabet crimes. There's a person who's hitting each place that's beginning with the letter A, the letter B, the letter C, D, and E, and what happens is unfortunately Bogomil gets injured. He gets shot in the line of duty, and Foley finds out about it, and he basically gets on the next plane over to Beverly Hills to help with the investigation, even though he's out of his jurisdiction,
And,
he's out of everything.
Also, somebody tells him not to do a certain something, but he does it anyway.
He's always like that. He's always like that.
Who does that again?
Everybody.
Inspector Todd.
Inspector Todd. Again, played by the late, great Gil Hill. And
he's always telling him not to do things, and he always does it.
No, it's like that scene where he goes, going on to Inspector Todd a second, it's that scene where he's always going, where the F you been, Foley? And what is this? He goes, $2,000 for a suit, $200 for a tie, an order for a Ferrari. I don't want to see this. I want to see arrest slips.
It's like, I don't want to see blue slips. I want to, where's my damn arrest slips?
That was a good impression. And yeah,
like, you'll get them soon. I'm going deep undercover now.
No, one thing I like, it's true what he said in the last podcast when we spoke about part 1. Todd's like the big brother to Foley. Because we don't know how many siblings Foley has. Like, Todd's come across the fact that he's a young cop, he's naive, I want to help him out. I think it's like you said, he's got a lot of potential and everything like that. But he doesn't know what's going on and everything. But it's like he knows what's going on. He just doesn't want Axel to fall down a wrong path.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's got anything to worry. I don't think he's got anything to worry about.
No, he hasn't.
Because obviously with Axel Foley, he's has he said multiple times, as obviously Rosewood and Taggart's like, yeah, you commit crimes, this and this, and he's like, you don't need to keep repeating yourself.
No.
He's obviously been down that path anyway, so
Yeah.
I think he knows what and what not to do. If you know what I mean, he knows.
Yeah,
I don't think he has to worry, but I think he just sees the potential in Foley,
and he doesn't want him to waste it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste his because wasting one's potential is the worst thing you can do.
It's like I say in it. It's like this quote I once read. It said, "Giving up on yourself is really
It's easy.
Do you know why it's so scary? Because it is too easy.
Yeah. Do you know? And there's another thing as well. I saw this quote not long ago, and it really got me. It said one of the visions of hell is seeing who and what you could have become.
Wow.
So imagine that. Imagine, this is going a bit obviously off topic, but imagine, right, you pass away.
Yeah.
And if there isn't a heaven or hell, but if that's the case and you do go to hell, then you see the person that you could have become and all the wasted potential that you committed.
Yeah. No, it's true. All jokes aside, you're absolutely right. Because
but we could bring that back to Todd and Foley. You know, he sees the potential in Foley because he's a great cop, isn't he? You'd want him on your side.
You would. We said that in the. We said that when we spoke about part 1 as well. Foley, he's a great cop.
You want him on your side.
Because if you look at part 1...
He solves crimes easily. Like,
better than Taggart and Rosewood.
I get it.
Yeah, better than Taggart and Rosewood, I would say.
Street smart.
He's very street smart. So this Alphabet Bandit has been doing these and everything, but this villain's way more smarter than the previous one they encountered.
Yeah.
And obviously Foley feels like he owes Rosewood Bogomil a favour because he saved his life. He saved his career at one point, because if not, he would have lost him back on the street. Huh?
He stuck up for him.
He stuck up for him big time, because if Foley hadn't come around, they wouldn't have suspected that Maitland character from part 1 doing all the things he was doing.
Yeah.
And he without them, hats off to Foley, he deserves all the credit. And Taggart says the same thing, Foley deserves all the credit. And it worked perfectly.
That's a bit.
Yeah. So moving into the so there's more action packed in it this time around. There's a little less humour in it, but there is some good funny one-liners and great improvisation by Eddie Murphy, and also Gilbert Gottfried, who sadly passed away.
Yeah.
I didn't realise who he was until I heard his voice, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" Then it made me realise. Do you know who he was famous for? You won't believe this. Do you remember the original Aladdin movie?
Oh, the bird.
The parrot, Iago.
Yes.
That was the voice of him.
Yes, I remember now. Yes. Man,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, that's Iago.
He's the bird of the sorcerer, isn't he?
Yeah, Jafar.
Jafar.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, we still remember that name. Right, we have to talk about Aladdin. I'm talking about the original one.
No, I'm not talking about the Will Smith one. I'm talking.
And we're talking
William.
about, and we're also going to mention the original Lion King. Eventually, down the line, we'll get to that as well.
The Lion King was one of the great. I don't care what anybody says. That was one of the greatest films.
Definitely. It's good because James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons. You had these two powerful actors who are known
Scar
for their...
and Mustafa. Oh.
Yeah, and you had these two great powerful actors who are known for their powerful voices.
The voices.
Jeremy Irons has a unique voice for an actor. He truly does.
He sounds great in Batman.
Master Wayne.
What the
Master Wayne.
The way he portrayed
Alfred.
No, Scar.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's like, that. I'll never forget that scene. I'll never forget the scene where he digs his claws into Mustafa's paws
And goes, long live the king.
Long live the king. And then he just lets go of his paws.
He does.
Yeah, anyway, So
bit
of nostalgia right there.
It was.
Let's go back to it.
Then again, the 80s was total nostalgia.
Yeah.
So going on to Axel Foley, what he is this time round. He's a bit more street smart. He's a bit more, a little bit by the rules, but not as much as he is. But he probably thinks, all right, the more I play by the rules, I'm never going to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
Where this time around, when you see him at the beginning and he's putting on that really nice designer suit,
Ace.
He's flicking that gun like old 80s fashion. When you see the hero flicking the gun like that, and he's like holding it and he's smiling, and then
he laughs
and he's like and then when he's gone to the restaurant,
he's also got a promotion now.
He's got a promotion now as well. He's done very well.
Foley.
He's done very well. And, he still drops the rules to help out people who are in need of his help.
And if it wasn't for Bogomil, he wouldn't have got that.
He wouldn't have got that, no, definitely. And so, like you say, he's a bit more team player this time round, because he's kind of like the leader out of the three of them this time round, isn't he? Yeah. Between him, Rosewood, and Tiger.
He's famous in Beverly Hills now. Because
that scene, where he goes... When he finds out Bogomil's been shot, excuse me, this is Detective Axel Foley of the Detroit.
Hey, you're the guy. Yeah.
That one. That was a classic scene. And moving on to Taggart and Rosewood, I love these two characters. Without them, Beverly Hills Cop's not complete.
Rosewood in this
is more badass.
Was perfect.
He was more badass.
I mean, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the end scene, obviously, but. Man, he was a lot more
risk-taking,
up front with people.
He was a bit more of a force.
Yeah.
Well, last time he's just all right.
Well, that's because of Foley.
But yeah, it is.
Every single thing that these characters do now, Bogomil, Taggart, and Rosewood, everything that these people do now is because of Foley.
Yeah.
He's rubbed off on them because he does say sometimes, doesn't he? He goes, "I'm rubbing off on you every minute."
You sound more and more like me.
You sound more and more like me every day. And it's true.
It is so true. And it's like he's had a positive impact on them since part one. Because if you look at him from part one, you see that opening picture where there's a picture of Bogomil, Taggart, Rosewood, and Foley. They've all gone fishing.
Yeah.
So they've developed a great friendship in the last few years since we've seen them. And Bogomil has that picture.
3 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, 3 years. No, 2 years, sorry. The set in the movie. And Bogomil has that exact same picture, and I think Foley and Taggart have it in there. And I think not Foley, what's his name? Rosewood has it in his
apartment. They all do because they're all a circle of friends, aren't they? They're all a network of friends, and I mean, obviously, you cannot get lesser like each other than these guys. I mean, come on, Taggart and Rosewood are nothing. They're nothing like each other.
No, they're not.
Bogomil, Taggart, and Rosewood are nothing like each other. Well, Taggart and Bogomil are kind of like, because they grew up together in the force.
Definitely.
As he mentions in this one. And then obviously you got Foley, he's just like, wow, he's just
something else.
Like any of them at all. They both have got different backgrounds altogether. You know.
It's true. Taggart still, bless him, he's still a bit more by the book. When he's always like...
he always says it as well.
This is wrong, that's wrong, no, this is wrong. I'm going to get in trouble. We're all going to get fired.
My pension this,
there goes my medical. And
there goes my pension.
It's like that scene where he goes to him, when Foley kind of reminds them both, look, we owe Bogomil for everything he's done for us, and he's laying up in hospital now. And if we don't do something about it, how loyal are we going to be? And it's
Rose
that
would
bit when he,
step up
it's that bit where he goes, when he goes to him, you know, what's shocking me, his boys don't have any loyalty for him, and Tiger just loses it and goes, no, I do have loyalty.
We grew up together in the force. Listen, and they both just look at him and he goes,
because they didn't know that before.
Yeah. And then when Taggart goes like this, he goes, okay, I'll go. Because he just reminded himself why he has to go.
Yeah.
He just goes, okay, I'll go.
It's got to be quiet, covert. He's like, give me a break.
Yeah, the thing about Rosewood is, he walks off with Foley.
He
He
always
didn't even
does.
He didn't even wait for Taggart.
He doesn't, because that's one thing, because he wants some adventure in his life. There's no adventure in Beverly Hills compared to Detroit. Detroit, there's always something, whereas Beverly Hills, there's never anything happening. Everybody dresses smartly, everybody's rich, even the cops look like they're in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
the cops are just like, yeah, you know, nothing.
There's
Hey,
nothing
put that
like that.
cigarette away.
That's it.
It's legal. Oh yeah.
I think probably the biggest crime happens is somebody doing a bit of littering. That's it. And somebody like hitting the car alarm as you see them two kids riding up there and they're rolling the newspapers and hitting them. I remember back in them days how sensitive car alarms were. You could like even I
Just
reckon,
walk close to it, like, ew.
or you could drop a feather on it and it'd go off. It was that hilarious.
Just go.
That was it, yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Alright, moving on to the villain, Maxwell Dent, played by Jürgen Boychkov, a great, legendary German actor. One movie I remembered him mainly for was Das Boot, and he's a terrific actor. I remembered him. Yeah, I remembered one movie I really remembered him for was Judge Dredd, the Stallone movie.
I am the law.
We're going to talk about
Sorry.
that one as well. No, it's fine. It's a classic line. And he plays one of the supreme judges in that movie.
I knew you'd see that.
You'd see that. The funny thing is, yeah, as we mentioned, Stallone was going to be in Beverly Hills Cop, but sorry, Sly, as much of a big fan I am of you, and if you ever get this message, that role would not have suited you.
No, it would not have.
Cobra would have suited you, hence why I would say kind of dressed like today for some reason.
Yeah, we'll unveil that later.
Yeah,
why?
we'll do that
Why?
later.
Actually, no. Tell us why are you dressed like that today? You don't know. You just felt.
I just threw it through.
Just felt like doing a Cobra today.
I feel like doing the
Oh,
Cobra.
why not?
Why not?
It's just the way you wake up. It's what you do.
Yeah. And so yeah, Maxwell Dent, I think he's a way better villain than Victor Maitland from Part 1.
I think you're right.
And if you look at out of all three of the main villains from Beverly Hills Cop, he's definitely the most intelligent.
Oh yeah. Well,
without a
it's like
doubt,
the victim, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Good way of putting it. He's the Riddler, whereas
Not Jim Carrey's version.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though his version was brilliant.
Oh, of course,
But
definitely.
back in those times.
Yeah, because if you look at it, these kind of villains kind of, I would say, Maitland's kind of like Two-Face. He's one thing to the public, but he's another thing behind everyone's back.
Yeah.
And whereas this one, he is the Riddler. Part 3, I would say that villain. How would you? I wouldn't say the Joker. I wouldn't say the Joker of anything.
I don't know.
He's more like Rupert Thorne, I would say.
What? Beverly Hills Cop 3?
The villain in that movie.
Terrible film.
Unfortunately, we have to do it
Hey,
because
it's Uncle Dave.
I knew he was going to say that. And yeah, but the thing I like about this one, one of the things I like about Maxwell Dent was the fact that how he calmly books all the plans in his head. He goes, all right, we're going to hit this place. You're going to do this. It takes that many minutes for the police to respond to this crime, this particular crime. And we need to be out of it and be ready and leave the clue for the next one. So by the time we hit the next job, it's too late.
That's what gives us the introduction to Bridget Nielsen's character.
A beautiful lady. Well, we're going to talk about her.
She was in this.
Oh, definitely she was back in the 80s,
But
in her prime.
But you know, she was the one that timed them.
That was a great role.
When they hit, which is at the beginning, of course, where they hit the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And then she goes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Or was it 3 minutes?
2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
3 minutes was the city deposit job.
Yeah. Yes.
And then it was 1 minute and 30 for the last job they pulled.
Yeah. So obviously, in the beginning of the film,
yeah,
you know, she drops something and then she picks it up, knowing that the guy will look.
Yeah.
Because she's got some really long legs right there.
Oh, she was 6'1".
Yeah. So
what do you expect?
those legs, you're like, wow. So he was just like, wow.
Well, she was a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
She was an absolute
Won't
stunner.
mess with her.
She's probably as strong as she looks.
Yeah.
She's not obviously built like a bodybuilder of any sort.
Yeah.
But
She's got power, man.
She's got power. You can tell. Well, then again, she was married to Stallone at the time.
Well, she would have done workouts with him as well.
Yeah, Stallone probably had all his wives, because he's been married 3 times, all trained with him.
Yeah.
Probably has his daughters do the same thing. What's good? Keep fitness going in the family.
4 daughters now?
3. It's 3. Yeah. And okay, so moving on to another character, Bogomil. One thing I like about Bogomil, he's a bit more defensive in the use of his troops.
He's a lot more humble in this.
I love the fact, because he is kind of like the big brother out of him, Taggart, and Rosewood. When especially that scene where you can tell how loyal and how much he loves them 2 guys and how much he respects them when he goes to them. When he goes, all right. When Lutz wants to get rid of them 2, the chief wants to get rid of Taggart and Rosewood,
chief, yeah.
And he goes, look, you know well as I do, half of police work is policemen following the gut reaction they go to it. And I've encouraged this by these 2 guys. I'm going to stand behind them all the way.
Yeah.
And then when they say, oh, you're suspended, and Rose was like, what?
And when he goes, all right, Milton, you're suspended. And like, what are you talking about? You can't even control your men. You can't even do your job properly. Nobody talks to me like that. It's just,
he's a bully.
What are you talking about? It's just the way he just looks at him. He's like,
yeah.
And then he goes, get out of my office, get out of my department.
Yeah.
And then he walks off, and you see him get in the car, and that's when you see him being followed. And just after that, that's when he gets shot.
Yeah, he does, literally a few minutes later, because they're waiting outside for him. Because they know the fact that he's probably the only police officer who does things by the book. And you can tell one more thing, sorry to interrupt. What's his name? Dent has policemen on the inside.
Yes, he does. That's what Foley says.
Not only that, you know what gives it away? How come they knew what time he was getting out of the station? And then when they're after he's been put in hospital, Bogomil, they say to him, Carla Fry, Bridget Nielsen's character goes, what about that cop in the hospital? And he goes, oh, he's guarded 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so how
he had people on the inside the whole time. Exactly, yeah.
So that's the intellect of the guy, isn't it?
He's too quick.
Yeah,
exactly. He's, like I said, I don't think.
And again, something else that Foley says. This guy is
too smart.
He's too smart for us.
He is too smart. It's like a scene where he's got the shell case. He takes one, and then he's like, "You stole evidence." There's a bunch of them. Only took the one, and then he goes, when he looks at the shell case, he goes, they don't make this anymore. It's too expensive. So how they do is get it from a rifle, cut it down a little bit, because whoever did this knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Which was a great thing.
That's when they find the gun club.
Yeah, that was a funny scene, the gun club.
We'll get to
I don't want to take shave those legs anyway. I'm sorry. I'm offering my grooming services.
She says something about a chat up there, don't she?
Trying to be charming.
Yeah, if that's you trying to be charming, then what does she say after that?
He goes, I was offering my grooming services.
If that's you trying to be charming, Mr. Foley.
No, Mr. James.
Mr. James. Of course, you don't mention his real name. So Mr. James. Is that you trying to be charming, Mr. James? Like, no, I'm just offering my grooming services. It's just like,
yeah.
And then when she walks off, it's like, man, that's one big lady.
Oh, he says something worse, but we're not
going to say that.
Yeah, we're not going to say that.
It's a family show.
Yeah. Yeah, and then one thing I loved about that relationship that's been built up over the past 2 years with Bogomil and Foley, when he rings him up and he goes, hey Axel, he doesn't call him Detective Foley anymore. He sticks with the first name base now. Hey Axel, how are you?
And obviously Axel does the same to him.
No, he did. I think I don't know. Does he call him? You don't hear him what he calls him. He just says, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm so glad to hear from you." He goes, "I'm gonna have to cancel the fishing trip," and then because
I'm onto something.
Yeah, and then he goes, "But listen, you take care of yourself." And he goes, "All right, do me a favor, punch Rosewood in the eye and slap Taggart around his bald ass head for me." That's a great way of saying hello to somebody.
I'm sure that was improvised.
Oh heck yeah, it was. Heck yeah, it was. All right, moving on to Carla Fry. That woman is as beautiful as she is lethal as she is beautiful. Yes. And I think nobody but Bridget Nielsen could have played that.
Oh no, I don't think there was anybody else that could have played that. Well, actually, no, there could have been a few that could have played her.
But they needed a woman who was like at least out of everyone's league.
Yeah.
I think maybe the other option could have been, maybe would have been, I was going to say Brooke Shields. She's quite a tall lady as well. She's like 6 foot.
And there's another one.
Please mention.
She was in Ghostbusters.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
No.
No?
I would say no.
Okay.
She looks. The thing about Bridget Nielsen is she could use her looks. Not saying that the other two women were unattractive in any shape.
Yeah, they were beautiful, but Bridget Nielsen was way just.
Well, she was a supermodel before she became.
She was just on another planet, beautiful, wasn't she?
I bet if you imagine Diane going off to that planet.
So if you look, yeah,
Planet Brigitte.
Planet Brigitte.
Planet Brigitte. Yeah, we have to say that somehow.
Where is that planet?
I don't know. We need to. Tal, you're the solar system expert. Could you please drop us a message, please?
Yeah, actually no. Tell us now. Tell us now. Give us a call. Come on.
Yeah, drop us.
Let
a
us
call
know
somehow.
because we need to go there. It's better than this planet, I think.
Well, yeah.
No.
He'd never leave there either.
No, he'd stay there all his life.
All
He
the
always talks about leaving this planet and going to another planet, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Planet Tal or Planet T.
Talatron. Planet Talatron.
Talatron.
Cybertron's already been taken. Alright. So like I say, the thing I liked about Carla Fryer was she was
badass.
She was badass. I mean the thing she wasn't afraid to picking a gun up.
No.
It's like that scene where you see her for the first time, she's got a gun. And when she meets Foley in the gun club, she politely introduces herself and she's like, "Oh, I'm this person, I'm that," and he's like, "You know, I'm Richard James," and he's standing up there and like
he's on his tiptoes, isn't he?
He's tiptoeing because like, you know, I can remember everybody used to do that when they were, especially growing up in the 80s, everybody used to tiptoe over things.
I tiptoed a lot in school because I was
do.
quite short and everybody else was quite tall, and I was like, I don't like being this short, so I used to tiptoe on pictures. When you have a picture taken,
Yeah. Well, no, everyone
go on
knows
my tiptoes just a little bit. They won't notice. Obviously, they did, because when I look at the picture, I'm like, yeah, that is so obvious. That is so obvious. What are you doing?
Exactly, yeah. And so, so like I said, one thing I like about it is that how she's still a part of the team. Where I love the scenes where she's like, all right, the first job, like I mentioned, 2 minutes, 1:45 for the jewelry job. For the second job, she knew how to play Bogomil. I've got a broken down car. Oh, he's going to get out and come out and help me.
Yeah.
And then she shoots him. And then the second job where they're hitting the city deposit, he goes, "Oh, we got 3 minutes," but then when the alarm goes off because of Foley and Rosewood, which was a great way how they did it.
It was funny as well.
It was hilarious. And then they had to she had to say, "All right, we got to go, we got police coming, this, that and the other." And that was a good scene. And then also the last one when she planted the job on the other guy, Kane, Charles Kane, played by the late great Dean Stockwell. And she goes, "Well, he was the alphabet bandit all along." When Foley figured it out halfway, this guy ain't the alphabet bandit. I've met him. He's a weasel.
Yep.
There was it's definitely the puppet master. He's pulling the gunsmith strings. He's pulling Fry's strings. He's pulling all the gang members' strings. He's pulling Charles Kane strings. He's even pulling a few police officers' strings for all you know. Because you don't see that in the scene. But you can tell as soon as he says, "Oh, that cop's guarded 24 hours a day. He's got people on the inside." And okay, so moving on to the last two characters. Chief Lotz. I hate that guy.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that was one guy who everybody actually hated. He was just a bully.
he was a complete and utter a-hole, wasn't he? I mean, I hated that guy. I really despised that guy. He just
Abuse of power.
I mean, just everything that he said, and he didn't let anybody answer anything.
Just always every 3 seconds.
His
Shut
way.
up. Shut up.
Exactly.
Shut up.
It was his
I
way.
said shut up.
No.
Shut your mouth once and for all. And
I'd now do a tag it on you. No, Rosewood. No, both.
yeah.
They both stick up
I love that bit.
They both go rampant on him, don't they?
I love that bit. You could tell Rosewood's head was about to explode. They did have enough. You can't blame him, can you?
No.
You can't blame him in any shape or form because why are they putting up with this guy?
Yeah. I mean, he was just like, I'm the boss here. You're not. You don't matter. I do. I'm right. You're wrong. There you go.
Yeah. I solved the crime. You didn't do anything.
End of conversation. You're like, wait a minute, shut up. But no.
We just listen a minute.
That's all he is. That's all he is.
His catchphrase. You know, next time I watch that movie, and hopefully before part 3, I'm going to add how many times. I'm going to count how many times he says the words "shut up" to Rosewood. I'm going to have to do that. I think it's about at least 15 to 20 times.
Yeah, one time he says it 1 and 3 times. It's like, shut up, Rosewood. I said, shut up. And the Rose was like this. No, you shut up. It's
good.
Like,
I loved it.
Damn.
And his associate, that Biddle, he's nothing but...
He's just got...
He's got no... He's spineless.
He's got no brains, has he? He's just walking around.
Yeah,
like...
it's like that scene where Foley goes, "You guys ain't scared of Lutz." He's just a, poop for brains politician, and his boy Biddle couldn't catch the alphabet bounder even if he nuked the entire city. I love that. That was a good line. That was a really good line.
That was great. I loved that.
And you could tell, again, I think that was definitely an improvised line by Eddie Murphy.
It was. Oh, I love that. But yeah, Lutz in this, he was just he was a my way or the highway kind of character, wasn't he?
Definitely was, yeah.
I don't want anybody to make up the rules. They're my rules. You don't have to say in this. That's it.
Yeah.
End of conversation.
Yeah, it definitely was. And he was just Biddle was being bullied by Lutz through the entire movie.
Oh, he was.
He was just being complete bullied by him, by like, oh, when he goes, "Here's your coffee. Once a week I'd like tea. Is that too much to ask?" Not at all.
Yeah. And Ben was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And Foley's just...
He was that type of guy who'd be like, you say run, he say how fast. You say jump, he say how high.
Yeah, he would. Especially if it's Lutz saying it.
Oh, heck yeah. It definitely was. And okay, so going on to the behind the scenes talk. Would you like to start off? I'm going to give you the opportunity today. Well, no, this is both our podcasts, so don't worry about it.
This is you.
No, okay.
This is you. I'm giving.
Okay, we'll do rock paper scissors. Who goes first? Wait, what are we? All right. Now, okay. What would you like to do first?
I would like to do. So I'd like to do a trivia first.
Go for it.
Right. Okay. Now this one is a bit. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Did you know Tony Scott and Bridget Nielsen had an affair during filming?
I'm sorry, did you... What?
She was going out with Sylvester Stallone.
No, she was married to him.
She was married to Sylvester Stallone. She had an affair with Tony Scott on the film.
He got the Addy reaction out of me. The biotic reaction, we'll call it that.
I mean...
We have the Riley reaction, and I've now just named it the biotic reaction. Deal?
I mean, come on. She has an affair with the director of the film. That is insane.
Did you know she actually had an affair with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the set of Red Sonja? And then I think she left.
Was she married to Sylvester Stallone still?
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, she met... Her and Sly did the first movie in '85, which was Rocky IV. And then they did the movie Cobra, which we reviewed. And then in 1987 is when they called it quits, had the divorce.
So 2 years there was...
They was only married for 2 years.
Oh, right. So it's not that long, is it?
No.
So when did...
Yeah.
Or
when they did that movie?
When did Beverly Hills Cop 2 come out?
87.
87. So from 85 to 87.
Yeah, that's 2 years, a 2 year marriage.
Yeah, so they were still together then, because obviously it says had an affair, so she was still with Sylvester Stallone. Wow, that would have been for revenge or something, man, because that's probably when the divorce was going through.
Might have been.
Still married.
You never know. You might, but then again, he was married, Tony Scott. So I don't know. All right.
I mean, that's just total seduction from her part, though, because if a woman like that comes onto you, it's going to be a hard time to actually be going like, what do I do? No, I can't, but can I? No, I can't.
You'd be pulling side to side going, no,
but it's Bridget.
No,
but you got married. But it's Bridget. You're married.
She's married to Rambo.
Yeah, but she's married to Rambo.
She's married to Rocky. He'll knock you out.
She's married to Rocky. She's married to Rambo.
He'd probably shoot you with the bow and arrow from far away.
So you like this? Actually, she's married to Rambo. I won't go near her. No, forget it.
Yeah, and then you probably hear Sly going, Aiden, I'm coming to get you. Oh, that's the line he says in Rambo 2. Yeah, but he points it to somebody else and his name's not Aiden.
Well, I mean, that would be me.
Goodbye.
That would be me crapping my pants, wouldn't it?
Okay, goodbye. All right.
That's when I will move to another planet.
Yeah. So yeah, target the spaceship ready.
Quick, Rambo's coming.
And did you know Gilbert Gottfried, who played that guy Sidney Bernstein, the accountant, him and Eddie Murphy improvised their entire dialogue.
Oh yeah, they did. It was all improv.
Of the parking violator, because you could tell in the scene where he picks the phone up and he swears at his wife.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. He goes, no, sorry. and then actually I can't say it on camera.
Yeah, no.
It's like,
You cannot say it on camera.
yeah, and then that's one thing he says as well. And also, you know, in the scene where Rosewood goes to the where he brings them back to the apartment, his apartment, and you see a few pictures of
you see a lot of you see Sylvester Stallone,
Rambo, you see Cobra,
yeah.
and because both those movies obviously starred Stallone, and Stallone's then wife Bridget Nielsen obviously appears in the movie as Carla Fry. And Stallone, again, I don't know if everybody, I did mention it a few times, Stallone was the original choice to play Foley in part 1.
Which would have been, again, a disaster.
It would have been a disaster. But like I said, he wanted to change the name from Foley to Cobretti. And then he just took all those ideas and put it into the movie Cobra, which we reviewed.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one thing. And before the, here's another one for you. Did you know this was the first movie ever to be filmed at the Playboy Mansion?
Well, that's a privilege.
Yeah, I mean, like, he walks in there.
I love that scene. It's like, oh boy.
No, it's the other scene when he walks in there, how he cons the place to get in there, how he cons the receptionist. He goes, I'm here to clean the pool. He goes, it was clean yesterday. Yeah, the pool was clean yesterday, but today it's dirty. Somebody made a mess in it. He goes, what do you mean a mess? Because somebody would say I had a accident in the pool. Because you want me to say it straight out for something floating in the pool. You know, it's like to have these wild parties. Somebody gets drunk and poops in the pool.
Yeah, she's like.
Yes, if you like, I can bring back and verify after. He goes, no, fine, go ahead.
No, it's fine, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine. It's like, thank you.
And then
let's go, guys.
Because these two guys, they're from the Board of Health.
Yeah.
All right.
And those will look at each other like this. Like, he's at it again. He's at it again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Foley.
They just leave it up to him. It's like, look, just if I had a guy like that,
I'll just take a back seat. I was like, you know what, just do what you're doing. I'm gonna sit here. I've got my drink. If
I was with a guy like that in the police force, we had to do a case.
Yeah.
And he was like him. I'm like, do you want to do it? Yeah, sure. Okay.
Fine.
Do you want to do it? No, just. You know? Yeah. That's good.
Solve the case. Solve
the case. Good. Right, I get half the money.
Right. No, go to it. Right, another. If you like to give a trivia.
Okay. All right. So. So this is the first time.
Yeah.
The first film Eddie Murphy wrote or co-wrote.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
I think it shows a bit being his first because, I mean, for me, again, you know my things about this film. I think the last one was a lot better.
Part 1.
Yeah, there was a lot. I think so.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you can tell that it was the first film of somebody who wrote it because there was a lot of things, and you go, that could have been done like this.
Yeah.
But you know, again, it is what it is. But it's his first film. It was his first film that he co-wrote. So,
and here's another one. Did you know the reason why Don Simpson, the producers, Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer hired Tony Scott is because of the great work he did on the movie Top Gun, which was out the year beforehand.
Yeah, it was quite Top Gun-y, wasn't it?
It was a bit, yeah.
But
high speeds.
I'll tell you something. I've never watched Top Gun.
Don't worry about it, everybody. I'm going to make sure he watches Top Gun, and we are going to review it because it's a classic '80s flick.
And Maverick's out, so
yeah, I'm definitely going to go watch that.
You know, I did watch. You know, I did watch a little bit of that film.
Top Gun.
Yeah, and I was like, come on, man. Do.
Okay, not that one. Out of all the themes you could have hummed, you had to use that one. Right.
It's just come on.
And here's another one. You're in the gun club scene where Axel walks in there and he introduces himself as Richard James. It was actually a nod to the singer Rick James, who Eddie Murphy's friend was at the time, who helped him produce his album. I don't know if you ever knew that. Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I knew.
There's one song I heard of his called "A Party All the Time."
It's good, you know.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Eddie Murphy's one of those actors who can actually sing.
Multi-talented.
He's very multi-talented. He can sing, he can do stand-up comedy, he can write, he can act, he can
act in comedies, serious films. He's
the one movie you need to seriously watch of Eddie Murphy's, and I would recommend this to anybody. This is recommendation.
I know what you're gonna say. One of his later films, Mr. Church.
Yeah, because it's in that he's not comedy. There's no comedy. Absolutely zero comedy coming from him. it's one of the, you can tell watching from that, you can say Eddie Murphy is more than just comedy. This guy can act. It's like when he did the movie Metro. Yeah, it's a bit action packed, but you can tell he's not just a comedic actor. He can do all round acting. He's done movies like Dreamgirls, Boomerang, Golden Child, which is one of the greatest Eddie Murphy movies ever made, which we have to review.
He did another film as well. What was it, Dolma?
Donna?
Yeah, what was this?
Norbit? No. Dolomite.
Dolomite, that's
Dolomite,
it.
that was
yeah, that's I want to watch that.
It's just a really good movie. Okay, so now here's another one for you. Do you know what the alphabet crimes meant? Each and every one of them, A, B, C, D, and E. Did you not know? Okay, so if you watch the movie, for those who have seen it, A is Adriano's, the jewelry store. B was Bogomil. They left the hit on him. C and D was stood for City Deposit. C and D. Because remember when Dent goes in there, I want to go over Plan C and D. I thought for a split second it was going to be two crimes at the exact same time. No, it's the crime taking place at one place. It's going to happen at one specific place. And E stood for Empyrean Fields,
which he owned,
and he did it on purpose to claim the insurance.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And now you have another scene for you. Oh, did you know Bronson Perchett, who played Surge, was going to come back and cameo?
Yeah, he was busy, wasn't he?
On a TV show. Yes.
What was that again?
Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, that was.
You have to watch at least 2 to 3 episodes. It's like the original 2.5 Men, but without the use of the kid in it. It's absolutely hilarious.
I used to watch that show.
Yeah, Perfect Strangers. Even the theme song was absolutely fantastic.
About 2.5 Men.
Oh yeah.
Charlie Sheen, man. Did you ever watch the film Hot Shots?
Yeah, which is taking the mick out of
soccer.
Part 2 is even more funny. Part 2 is funnier. You know what he's taking the mick out of in there? Rambo.
Yeah, I remember. We need to review that.
Done,
was so.
Done.
I love that film.
See, I've agreed to it. And it's on camera.
I love that film. Oh, they take
Topper Harley.
Yeah.
What a crazy name to call somebody. Topper Harley.
Topper. He's always on the back. Topper.
Yeah. Alright, did you know there was a deleted scene?
Can't do films like that anymore.
They can't. The spoofs.
Sometimes Scary Movie.
Yes, there was one.
Oh, that was good, man.
Okay. Did you know there was a deleted scene from the shooting club? You know the scene where Foley, Rosewood, and Taggart they find out where the gun club is, because we're going to go to the gun club, and they're in the car, and he goes, no, if we go down there, we're not going to come back. He goes, well, I'll go. Rosewood's like, I'll go. And Foley's like, yo, you lighting up, take a risk, man, come on. And he's like, all right, forget it, let's go. And then there was a scene after when Foley unlocks that door in that kind of funny, unique way with the chewing gum.
Yeah.
And he goes in there. There was a scene where there was laser lines. Like if you cross them, the alarm would go off.
Yep.
And before he stepped foot there, he goes to Taggart, whatever you guys do, don't stop just yet. He goes, why? I've got an idea. You got a cigar? He goes, light one up right now. He lights up a cigar and he's like and he sees the lasers. And then they're all stepping through there, and they're like walking towards the door. And then Axel's doing like this commentary going, and Axel's horse is in the lead. Rosa and Taggart coming in around the back as well. They're coming in quite slow. Looks like Foley's going to win this race and everything like that. It looked quite funny at the time, but Tony Scott, the reason why he got rid of it, because he goes, it slowed down the pacing of the movie, and he said it was a bit too far removed from reality.
Yeah, it was a...
but it can be seen on the DVDs.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see that scene, but at the same time, and it would have been funny, but again, I think he was right by saying that. I mean, he's a professional.
Oh, definitely.
It would have probably made you think, okay, let's get to the point now.
Yeah, that's true. And, okay, do you have another one you like to write?
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, producer Don Simpson was so powerful at the time that he had Paramount remove writer Larry Ferguson from his duties on his screenplay.
Yeah.
Presidio.
That's a great movie with Sean Connery and Mark Harmon, who appears in the movie, the TV series NCIS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he appears in
Never watched it, but I
haven't watched it either.
I hear a lot about it.
I haven't heard that either. Sean Connery just steals the show in that movie. Well, it's Sean Connery.
Well, it's...
Yes.
Yes.
name's Bond.
Stop.
James Bond. Stop. Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
Gosh.
You kind of sound like what's his name, Mel Gibson in Braveheart. Go back to England. Tell them that Scotland's sons and daughters are yours no more. We have to review the movie Braveheart. I don't care. It's one of the best movies.
I only
ever
watched
made.
that once.
Same here, but we have to watch it. Okay, here's another one for you. Did you know this is the only movie out of all three of them Foley doesn't get shot?
Oh, yeah, because in the first one he gets bloodied.
Yeah.
The third one he gets extremely.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh.
And also, there was going to be a plot idea of this where Bogomil had gone to London for a World Police Convention, and he gets hijacked by a gang of terrorists. And the word gets back to Taggart and Rosewood, and they get Foley on the phone, and then all three of them get on the plane to go over to London to stop it. And they were going to team up with an officer of Scotland Yard. And guess who the officer was?
Sean Connery.
Either Sean Connery or was it John Cleese, who was very famous for playing...
John Cleese would have been amazing in that.
The sarcasm.
Yes. Just imagine Eddie Murphy and John Cleese being, you know,
that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome.
Oh.
And did you know Jürgen Perchnow and Dean Stockwell also appeared in the movie Air Force One?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're in Air Force One together.
So, what happened to that alternate version?
Because I didn't think they liked the I didn't think they liked the idea, because if it's called Beverly Hills Cop, why is it not filmed in Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
It would have cost them a lot more money to travel all the way to London to do the shot there.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's but at the same time, you could have, you could have had quite a bit of it in Beverly Hills with Axel Foley in it, and then gone there. And it would have been great though.
It would have been great to see those actors together.
I wouldn't have cared if it wasn't in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't have cared if it was better than seeing John Cleese, the Monty Python.
No, to me, he'll always be Basil Fawlty. Which you have to watch. We have to review Fawlty Towers. It was one of the best shows ever made.
You can't make shows.
You can't make shows like that. And okay, here's the last one before we move into our favourite scenes and then give it the score out of 10.
Okay.
Did you know just before the final gun battle, Rosewood is obviously he pulls out all the guns of Arsenal from the boot of the car.
That's
It was a nod to Don Simpson. According to Judge Reinhold, who plays Rosewood, he goes, in the making of the documentary for the first film, he recalls the first time he met Simpson. The producer showed off his collection of guns in the trunk of the car. He goes, why don't we incorporate that into the next movie? They knew they were going to do another movie, honestly.
No, there's a... You know, when you come up to the first one, it would have already been greenlit for a second one.
Oh, definitely. They did the same thing with Karate Kid. Yeah. They said we're going to make a few of these movies, not just the one-off special.
Too bad about the
third one and the fourth one of Karate Kid. Yeah, and same thing with the third one of this one.
Yeah, it's just something about the third.
No, if you go like the only third movie I thought was absolutely brilliant, Rocky 3.
Yeah.
And
Lethal and Planet of the Apes.
Definitely. Oh, we have to review the new ones.
Yes.
We have to review the new ones. Thanks for that.
Not that new anymore.
Well,
that's one came out 5 years ago.
Yeah,
but
still,
it's a lot new. They're a lot newer than the old like the 80s and 90s.
I totally agree with that. All right, so moving into favourite scenes, you go first.
Okay, so one character that always makes me laugh, and he would never ever fail to make you laugh, is the good friend of Axel's, Jeffrey.
Yes.
In the first one, obviously Inspector Todd is raging at Foley. It's like, what the hell is this, Foley? You know, he's walking after him. He's pointing his finger, and Foley turns around, and obviously Todd is he's having words with him. Yeah. Jeffrey says something. He goes, "Shut up, Jeffrey!" And he's like, "This ain't my locker." And he's just pointing up like that, and he walks off, and he's like, "This ain't my locker." Well, in this one, they make Foley makes a plan with Jeffrey. Yeah. And Jeffrey's there just like trying his best to listen. Like, did you get that? It's like, yeah, good. Okay, so I want you to pick up the phone. And when he picks up the phone, pretend to be him. And then obviously you know what happens next.
Yeah. I love the scene before he builds up, before that phone's ringing. He's like, will you ring? Will you ring? And then Todd's there and he goes,
it's like,
all right, who tricked my ass?
all right, who tricked my ass? It's the way he walks up the stairs. It's like, all right, who tricked my ass? And then obviously Jeffrey's like this.
What shall I do? What shall I do?
And then
he just does it.
Yeah, and Lutz has to wait because obviously Foley tells Lutz
to ring at this time.
Yeah. He goes, okay, I am from this investigation. I can't unveil anything, but if you want to ring my department, my chief will pick up the phone and tell you everything. Yeah. So if that's what you want, go and do it. Yeah. So Lutz is obviously like this. Okay. So he rings him up. Jeffrey's there like that. And then he runs to the phone, grabs the phone, sits underneath the table, and he's like, hello, this is Inspector Todd. He's like, yeah, Chief Lutz from the Beverly Hills Police Department. And he goes, is this Detective Foley, this and this and this? Yeah, everything is true that he says. Believe every word that he says, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, okay, thank you. Yep, good. Bye. Back to the phone now. Todd walks in and goes, what you doing in my office? And he's like, this ain't in my office. And he's like, damn right, it's not your office. and he walks off. Yeah. And he's like, oh, that's
exactly.
scene.
One of my other favourite scenes in this movie was, what was it? The scene where he gets the vitamin tablets and he's like this, I'm from Maddox, explosive research company. And it's the improvised line he says to that receptionist when he goes, excuse me, this is sound-seeking projectiles. I suggest you don't use the telephone, don't breathe, don't cough, don't sneeze, and don't even break wind. Because one slight peep in your design jeans ain't gonna fit no more. He just went, that's another good line. And the other scene, one of my other favourite scenes was when Rosewood pulls out all the weaponry. And
yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. Puts on the sunglasses.
At the end of it, it's like, then he's like, Taggart's like, you know, before then, when he gets the rocket launcher, and when they find all those weapons, Foley takes a couple of grenades and that's it. Taggart doesn't pick up anything. And then Rosewood, he gets that rocket, he goes, here, Billy, he goes, what? You have one of these, do you? And he goes, no, I don't, but thanks. And he's like,
and he actually sticks the grenade into his pocket. Yeah. And he's like, and Taggart's like this.
I was only joking. And then no, it's how he fires it's even funnier. And then they're all getting shot at, and he goes, calmly, he just does it. Pull pin. Extend. Wow. Release the safety. Aim through there and press this. And he shoots
up the truck.
And then Foley has to stop and laugh. And, goes, and Taggart's like, forget Rambo. And then they say it's chopped up. That was a good one.
I love it.
And one of your other favourite scenes.
Oh, you've got to love the moment where Foley at the beginning, when he first goes to Beverly Hills, and obviously a lot of things happen in this. Boga Mills' daughter gets involved because she works in finance, and she's a main player in finding out who Dent. Who Dent is and why he is the alphabet criminal. Yeah. The alphabet bandit. Yeah. So when he first comes to Beverly Hills, he's driving along, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he goes past that big house with all those labourers there.
Yeah.
Building the house and doing whatever they need to do with it. And then he drives past it and he's having an argument with himself. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then he goes,
okay, he's up to something.
Yeah, exactly. And then he turns around and then he gets out of the car. He's like, all right, everybody stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Everybody stop what you're doing right now. I am from this. What does he say?
Beverly Hills Building Inspector.
I'm a Beverly Hills Building Inspector. I'm telling you now, stop right now. And then you get the foreman coming out. I say, okay, who's the foreman here? And it's like, I'm the foreman. It's like, okay, these plans, they are wrong. Everything's wrong. They've been changed. And I'm here to tell you that it's wrong. Guys, stop what you're doing.
And go home. Yeah,
go home. You go with your families. You get some rest. You come back. I'll let you know when to come back. Just go home. And everything's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's going on here? The plans have changed. What do you mean the plans have changed?
Yeah, it's how he covers it so good.
Yeah.
I'll talk to my people, they talk to their people, they talk to your people, and nobody gets fired.
Nobody get
And
fired,
then
everyone's fine.
that's another funny scene is, you know, when Taggart and Rosewood.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, go for it.
Yeah. So he makes up a story, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like,
he does.
this is his uncle's.
House.
So this is your uncle's house? Yeah, he's gone away, so I'm going to stay here for a while when he's gone away. So okay, fair enough. Obviously, Taggart being Taggart, I don't believe him. And Rose was like, well, and obviously Rosewood being like naive, he's like, what do you mean you don't believe me? Come on, man. This is Foley we're talking about
Swimming
here.
pool, jacuzzi.
Yeah, it's like, what does his uncle do? And he's like, So they go with him, and he's in, and then they find him at the pool.
Yeah.
It's like, you stole the house. Like, how can I steal a house? It's like, it's you.
Yeah, because they know what he's up. They know what he's like. They've had time to know what he's like compared to the first one.
Get you behind in the pool. It's like, I'm not getting in the pool. Just get you behind. It's like, I love it when you get there so angry.
And then he drops
so bad.
What's even funny was how Rosewood's reaction when he laughs. That was just so funny.
He just falls.
And then when he comes downstairs and those funky golf.
Oh
players,
my gosh.
And then they go off to the bar and he makes out he's the former president of the US, Gerald Ford. And then the surprising thing is they got drinks on the house, or because of Foley's BSing all the way there, which is even funnier.
He looks nothing like Ted Ford. It's like,
geez, you seen him without his makeup on?
You've seen man's makeup. You're like, oh yeah, no, I haven't. It's like, exactly. He doesn't want to come out there. He's in disguise. He's retired. He's chilling out. The man deserves to have some fun.
He goes, where do you want to go? I want to go 385 North. He goes, so you should be proud of having this. It's our pleasure to have.
It's our pleasure, yeah.
And then gets drinks on the house.
And then when he stands up to go, everyone's like that, clapping him like that, and he's like.
One last favourite scene of mine definitely is when Rosewood and Taggart have had enough of lots. And the mayor stands up for them two and Foley. When he's like, every few seconds, shut up, shut up, shut up. And he just loses, goes, no, you shut up. This is what the crime was about. Guns. That guy sold them and then brought them with, stole all the money he stole from all the crimes.
That was Rosewood's snap.
Yeah.
So then Taggart.
Notice how Taggart builds up to it. When he goes, why, when they found the passport with the, the date, he's going to leave today. And he goes, why did I know about this? Because Chief doesn't have the guts to listen to us. He goes, that's why we had to team up with Foley. You could tell as soon as he says that line, Chief doesn't have the guts to listen to us. You could tell, or he's about to rat me out. And he goes, that's it, cuts it, Taggart, you're fired. And he goes, yeah, kiss my ass. And what was funny was Foley's reaction. So when he says kiss my ass, this is Foley's reaction. My headphones don't fall off. So he goes like this, he goes, kiss my ass, like that.
But he does it with Rosewood first, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he just looks up like that. It's like,
and then when Taggart's like, kiss my ass, he's like,
and then he fires them both.
And then he fires Foley. He's like, and you're fired too. He's like,
I'm not part of the department.
I'm not a part of this.
And then he goes, and then the mayor's had enough. I love that mayor. He goes, you know what, I've had enough of your abusive attitude. You're fired. Get lost. You're fired as well.
Like, no, you're fired lots. And he's like, wait a minute, sir. It's like, he says his name, doesn't he? He says, it's mayor to you. And he's like, I'm sorry, Ted. It's like,
yeah, because if you look at it, that's kind of like karma hitting him back. Because when Bogomil goes to him, I'm fighting you on this, Harold, and he goes, that's Chief Lutz to you. He does the same thing to the mayor. He goes,
sorry, Ted. It's like, it's mayor to you.
Yeah, mayor. Good. He got a taste of his own medicine.
But when he gets fired and Axel's like this, he goes, hey, are they citizens now? And he's like, yeah. He said, I'll kick your ass later. It's like,
that's good. They couldn't thank him enough. Yeah. They loved him. I think in a way, when the mayor goes, thank you so much for what you did, he's showing him respect, saying thank God for you, Foley. If you hadn't come, God knows how much more damage this guy would have done to this whole department. Exactly. And he did. He fired every cop that worked for the old chief.
Yeah, so I enjoyed like I said, the film wasn't as good as the first one, but there was still a lot of awesome, scenes in it. One of them being Rosewood.
Yeah, I loved Rosewood.
Rosewood in this was just,
hilarious. I think he was a bit more what's the word? A bit more
come out of his
badass.
shell a bit more, hasn't he? He's come out of his shell. He's a lot different because Foley's rubbed off a lot on him, big time. He's rubbed off on him, and that's what Foley says in it.
In the ending, yeah,
it's like you guys are rubbing. I'm rubbing off on you guys every day, and it's true because it's these guys, man. They wasn't like this in the first one. Rosewood was very quiet, and Taggart was just always by the book.
He definitely. I think obviously Taggart being the older one out of the two of them, Taggart was more by the book compared to Rosewood.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously Bogomil was by the book. Bogomil was their supervisor, but now he's become a bit more of a commanding officer.
Yes.
And he kind of in a way threw the book a little bit. He doesn't look at it as much as he used to because of Foley.
It's the Foley, yeah.
It's because we'll call it the Foley effect.
Yeah, that's good. The Foley effect, yeah.
The Foley effect, yeah. And that was a great thing to do about that, because like I've said in previous ones, you don't underestimate the impact a person can have on you. And Foley is like that, even though he's a bit, comical, comedic, a bit.
He's also very smart.
Very street smart.
You'd rather have him on your side than against.
You know what was really cool? What I'm showed of his intelligence was the fact that was that scene with the super glue.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that, but it's like the science behind it. It's like, wow, Foley, you know science.
That's his childhood coming into play.
Yeah, it's like
like you said many times. I've committed many things and been in trouble a lot with the police.
Definitely
turned his life around now. But yeah, Rosewood in this, especially when where he is where he's got the two shotguns, he's got the overcoat, he's got the sunglasses, and he says this in the first one. He goes, "I've always wanted to do this," and then he goes to the opposition. He's like, take 2 steps back.
Put your
hands on your head. You're all under arrest. But while he's saying all of this stuff, Taggart's like, they already know that, Billy.
They got their hands on Billy.
They're already doing that, Billy. Yep, I think I know that too, Billy. It's like, I've always wanted to do that. And he's...
Because if you look at it, who's his favourite hero? Stallone.
Yeah.
And
he loves Rambo,
he loves Rambo, he loves Cobra.
Yeah.
He loves... and it's kind of like, because if you look at it, those glasses are kind of similar to ones Cobra wears. If you look at it.
Yeah.
But again, that was the 80s. Everything was big, wasn't it? It was, for those who don't remember, it was big hair, big clothes, big physiques. Bulk.
It was just the guys.
Like I mentioned about the big hair.
Yeah, the big hair.
Yeah.
There's a big hair,
but
big muscles, everything.
By today's standard, it would... I don't know, would you consider it overkill? Or no?
Today's standard?
I wouldn't consider it, because remember, fashion kind of like comes in and out. Clothes come in and out. Shoes come in and out.
They do. It's just
they'll be gone for 10 years. They'll be back in 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like a TV series. It'll be gone in 10 years, and then it'll be back again in 10 years.
It's just there's nothing original anymore. It's recycled, but in another version.
Yeah.
I think if you go back to the dawn of man, things were just becoming fresh. But now, hundreds and hundreds of years later, things have been recycled so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, 80s fashion, 70s fashion, 60s fashion.
I still have the Sonny Crockett shoes. And
I mean, it only takes somebody to go, oh, that looks great, I'm going to wear that too. And then somebody else would go, I like the look of that, I'm going to wear that too. And all of a sudden, 80s fashion is back in style again.
It's back in play, yeah.
And one day, 90s style will be back. You'll be seeing a lot of, oh man, there's too many to say. There was a lot of...
We could probably do a whole podcast on 80s and 90s fashion down the line. But we'll see what happens. So, okay, Beverly Hills Cop 2, score out of 10, what would you give it?
6.5.
I'd give it a 7.5. I really liked a sequel, because sometimes I do like sequels a bit better than the original. But most of the 90% of the time, the original is always going to be better.
And then the trilogy comes out.
And then the part 3. Well, I think, okay, as I mentioned previously, the only part 3s I've always liked was Rocky 3 was great. I don't like it compared to
Rocky 3 was really
It was great. Die Hard 3 was good, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
But I'm not comparing these two parts to the originals, because the originals will always be better, because that's what set the storyline in motion.
Yeah.
And but in all honesty, I really like those part 3s of movies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Terminator 3 could have been a lot better.
Oh yeah, that.
No, you must live. It's like, honey, what have you done?
Relax.
Next time, yeah, he says that, relax. The eyes pop out of his head, no sunglasses required. Well, that's all the time we have for today's podcast.
Shouldn't have been a fair Terminator, I'm sorry.
I've got a funny story to tell about Terminator 3, but when we review the Terminator trilogy,
Yeah.
I'm going to save it, please.
Right.
No, I'm going to save
But
it.
let me just say, they did need a third one, because obviously it needed to tie into what actually happened to John.
Yeah.
But it was the way it is executed. But anyway, that's for another time.
That is true, yeah.
That's for another time.
So, again, Aidan, thank you very much for coming on
You're
and everything. Excuse me. And hopefully we're going to be back pretty soon. For episode 21 of the AAT'S podcast, we're continuing on with our tribute to the late, great Ray Liotta, who unfortunately passed away.
Yes.
Like I mentioned in the
67, wasn't it?
Yeah, 67. He unfortunately died in his
If
sleep.
you look at it nowadays, that's not really anything, is it?
No.
But yeah, thoughts and prayers go to his family.
Definitely.
To his children.
Yeah.
To everybody that was
all the
with him.
fans.
Oh, everything.
Yeah,
Everybody
fans,
that was
everything.
involved with
And
him. My love goes out to you.
definitely. And like I say, all those great movies he left behind, Unlawful Entry, definitely Goodfellas. We are going to be reviewing the movie Goodfellas in the next episode.
That's going to be. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward. That's actually going to be the first one of the Oscar-winning films we're talking about.
Yep, and we're going to be getting onto the Oscars.
Definitely. So if you got any Oscar-winning,
Not the ceremony, because
Yeah.
I can't stand watching the ceremony. Watching people get slapped all the time.
Did you say slap? Yeah, I saw that. I saw that as well. It was shocking. It was really shocking. And
That's for another episode.
funny thing is, Chris Rock was actually in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
He was.
But Eddie Murphy didn't slap him.
That's another favourite scene of mine.
I get $10 for cars, $20 for limousines. What the heck is this?
But wasn't it nice what Eddie Murphy did for him? He actually brought him in.
He did in a way, yeah.
He helped him get into that film.
Eddie Murphy actually helped a lot of. Before we go, Eddie Murphy actually helped a lot of and inspired a lot of people to take up stand-up comedy, like Chris Tucker, Chris Rock, I think Martin Lawrence. Who else was there? The list goes. Bill Bellamy, and the list goes on.
Look who inspired
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor
was legend.
Richard Pryor.
There is one movie of Richard Pryor's we have to do.
See no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah,
if Gene Wilder.
Oh, they made a great on-screen team, and we're also going to be doing a podcast down the line of great actors collaborating with great directors. This is the next movie we're going to be talking about. Is definitely one of them. We're also going to be talking about great on-screen teams, whether it's TV, whether it's movies. We have to do that eventually because it just shows the greatness of actors and who develop.
Well, we're going to be talking about one of them today. De Niro and Joe Pesci.
You mean the next episode, definitely.
Yeah.
You're getting a bit ahead of time, bro.
Sorry.
It's in the schedule. Well, Aidan, always a pleasure to be working with you, and I really appreciate that. And don't forget to follow us on all social media. And if you have any movies of your favourites that we'd like
let us know.
Yeah, drop them in the comments.
Doesn't matter what age you are, let us know.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't always have to be the 80s.
No. The reason why it's called the 80s because we were both born in the 80s, and the first name of the initial was A and A.
So Addy, Aidan, Tal's podcast.
So I was all born in the 80s. It doesn't have to be an
Legends
80s show or film. It can be
anything, anything, definitely.
Well, appropriate, of course.
Of course, definitely.
It's a family show.
Yes, sir. Right, well, again, thank you very much, and we'll definitely see you in the next podcast. And don't forget, the AAT'S rocked.
They do rock.
What this guy agreed with.
You nearly forgot it, didn't you?
No, you were supposed to say it. What
All
this
right.
guy agreed with.
All
there
right.
you go. See you in the next podcast, everybody.
See you later, guys.
This is Addy.
And this is Aidan.
Out.